Hey, Nob Hill Nighthawks. We are starting a new module today. So we are starting module 5, lesson 1 is what we are working on today. And this module is going to be talking about fractions. It's one of my favorite math components to work on. And our first lesson, our objective is I will be able to decompose fractions as a sum of unit fractions using tape diagrams. So what that means is we are going to use this tape diagram that you see right here on your screen, and we are going to decompose that or break that apart to understand fractions. Okay, so the biggest thing I want you to understand is that fractions are a part of a whole. So my favorite example to use is pizza. Okay, you have your whole pizza, but if you're going to share it with your friends and family, you're going to cut that pizza into pieces. Well, each piece of pizza is a fraction of the whole. So you decomposed your whole pizza into fractions so that you were able to share. Okay, so if we look at this tape diagram here, you can see that it's not broken apart. It's still a whole. There's still one whole tape diagram, okay? If I were to insert another table and say I broke that into 4 pieces, okay? So this would be considered one. This is one whole, okay? This is also still considered one whole, but it's decomposed into 4 pieces. So the fraction that we would refer to each of these is 1/4. 1/4. Whoops, not third. 1/4. You can see that each of those is equal to 1/4. And if we were to add those together, 1, 2, 3, 4, it would give us 4/4, which is going to be equal to 1. And when they're right next to each other like that, you can see these are equal units. They're both a total of 1, but this one we decomposed into pieces or fractions in our tape diagram. Okay, so if we were to do that again, say I want to break my whole into, maybe, come on. Let me delete these ones. Okay, let's try that again. It's not letting me. Okay. Well, let's just do this. I'm going to do the same thing, but now you can see I broke it into 3 pieces. So with however many pieces there are, that is our denominator, which is the number on the bottom. So on this one, our denominator is 4 and our numerator is 1. So denominator is the number on the bottom. I always think down denominator. Top is numerator. So however many pieces there are will be our denominator. So if I wanted to fill this or shade in this section, then that would mean I only have that much of the whole. So I would say I have 1/3 of the whole because the other 2 are not shaded. So I don't have that amount. If I had all of that shaded in, then I would have the same amount as 1 whole. Okay. Another thing about fractions, if you notice, my 1/4 is smaller than my 1/3. So fractions, if the number on the bottom, our denominator, is smaller than another fraction, and we get more into this later, but this is just a good visual seeing them side by side, 1/3 is larger than 1/4 because I only cut my whole into 3 pieces instead of 4. Okay, so as we go through this will make more sense. We're going to continue talking about fractions with the wholes and the shading, and decomposing them through our problem set today. All right, so let me get to where we're going to be working. All right, so here we are going to use number bonds and tape diagrams to help us represent our fractions. So if you notice, our first one's already done for us. So notice the shading. All of our units are shaded. So that means we have all of those in our addition sentence here and our number bond here. So we have one whole. It was broken into 1, 2, 3 pieces. So our denominator is 3. Each of those are shaded. So they use those in their addition sentence. So they have one whole total. They took 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. 3/3, that means I have one whole. Okay, so we're going to do that together over here. On letter B. So notice not all of them are shaded. So we're not going to represent all of these units. We have one whole, but let's see what our denominator is going to be. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is broken into fifths. So this first one, notice our little bracket here on the bottom is representing one of these. So this here would be 1/5. Okay, and then this bracket goes under 3 of those units. So 1, 2, 3 fifths. Our denominator stays the same because it's still part of that whole. Okay, so now if we look at this, we want to show this as a number bond. Well, how much do we have all together? Well, we can count them if we wanted to. 1, 2, 3, 4 fifths, or we can think 1 plus 3. When we're adding and subtracting fractions, our denominator stays the same. Okay, we'll get into more of that later, but that's a brief overview of that. So my whole in my number bond will be 4 fifths. And they showed that as 1/5. And 3/5. Remember, I'm writing with a mouse, so don't be laughing at my numbers. They're still readable. Okay, so here's our number bond. If we want to write that as an addition sentence, we would say 4/5 is equal to 1/5 plus 3/5. Okay, so depending on what they broke it into, that determines our denominator. However many we have shaded is how many we are representing. And you got to watch those brackets, so sometimes they'll bundle them up together. All right, let's look down here. All right, so we have our one whole. Notice again, not all of them are shaded, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 total. So that means our denominator is going to be 4. And then here, ooh, it's going to let me type. That'll be better. I have 1/4. Here, I have another one. So notice my brackets below are only under 1 unit each, okay? 1/4 and 1/4. If I want to write that as a number sentence, I can show that I have 1, 2, 3, 3/4 is equal to 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. Sorry, that's really small. Okay, and the same thing we did up here. If I want to, show this number bond, my total is 3/4. So that's going to be my whole that I have represented. 3/4, and then we had 1/4. 1/4, and 1/4. Good. So we had 3/4 total, and it was decomposed into 1/4 units for each of them. All right, let's do one more. So over here, we got to figure out what is our denominator going to be. It's broken into how many units? Let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's our denominator going to be? Our bottom number is going to be 6. That's how many pieces they broke it into total. Okay. So if we come down here, notice our brackets. How many are shaded? And our bracket is containing 2 of those. So we know our denominator is 6. 2 of those are shaded. So this will be 2, 6. And then same over here. 2 of them are shaded. 2 of them are within the bracket. So 2, 6. Okay. So if I add those together, what's 2 plus 2? Or we can count how many are shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 are shaded. So we have a total of 4. Oopsies. 4, 6 is equal to 2, 6 plus 2, 6. Notice our denominators staying the same in our fractions and in our answer. Okay. So if I want to show that in my number bond, how many do we have all together? We have 4, 6. 4, 6. Ooh, that's a big one. Let me make that a little smaller. So room to circle. 4, 6 is our total. I had 2, 6 as one of my parts, and 2, 6 as my other part. It's kind of a messy 6, but you get the idea, okay? So as you guys are working through this on your practice, remember the rule of thumb is however many pieces there are, that's our denominator. So whatever we decomposed our whole into, that's our denominator. However many I have, which are the shaded components, is our numerator. So I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there are 6 pieces total. Okay. We will continue working on this. This is brand new. So if it's totally confusing, please just understand that this is new. Okay. We're going to continue to work through it. You'll get some practice in small groups this week as well. All right, you guys, good job today. We'll see you guys soon.